What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today. And in today's video, I'll be showing you how to build every main character from Zack Snyder's Justice League, aka the Snyder Cut, using 100% official LEGO parts and pieces. Now, if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit like and subscribe because I do videos like this almost every day, if not LEGO reviews and LEGO news and all of that great stuff. With that being said, the Snyder Cut gave us so many new outfits and figures and just so many awesome things we can talk about. So sit back, hit that like button, relax, and let's start talking about how to build the custom characters from Zack Snyder's Justice League. So starting off this showcase, we of course have Batman, and here's what he looks like in the film, and it's honestly really hard for me to make any upgrades to this because, well, this is one of my favorite minifigures of Batman ever, actually. I think it looks so accurate to the film, and there was a Justice League version of Batman that was released. However, I don't have either one of those. One came in the Nightcrawler set, and the other came in the Flying Fox set, and I don't have either of those Batmans, and I never got the Flying Fox set. So there will be a couple points in this video where there are some figures that came in that set that probably would have been the best version to show here, but unfortunately, I just don't have them, and it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of you guys don't have them either, so hopefully this showcase is actually good in showing you how you can use a little bit more common pieces compared to the ones that only came in that set. Now, with that being said, let's keep moving on in the video. To build Bruce Wayne, I really like the way this turned out. I used the hair from Doctor Strange from Avengers Infinity War. The face comes from Star-Lord or from Bucky Barnes from the Civil War wave of sets. And then the torso and legs come from James Potter from the LEGO Harry Potter Collectible Minifigure Series 2. And honestly, it looks exactly like Bruce's trench coat from the end of the movie. So it's a really great look, and I think it really looks like Ben Affleck too. So here we have Wonder Woman, who has no upgrades made to her, but this is the version from the Wonder Woman solo film, not the Justice League version. The Justice League version came in that Flying Fox set that I mentioned, and of course I don't have it, but this figure is fantastic. The reds and blues on it are a lot more vibrant than the ones that come in the Justice League set, but nevertheless, I think it's still a great figure, and personally, I like the brighter colors better anyways. Here we have the Flash, Ezra Miller's version, that is, and I'm definitely not the first person ever to make this specific custom, but the arms are the only thing changed out, and those come from Deadshot from the 2016 LEGO DC line of sets. I think it really pulls the figure together well, and I love the way that it turned out. Here we of course have Aquaman, and I think that this figure looks pretty great straight out of the box, so it's really hard for me to justify making up any upgrades to, so of course I didn't, and what you see is what you get. He's a really fantastic figure, and I always like too that you can pull the hair off and see the head on the back, and he's kind of got those angry eyes that look really good. Especially in the Snyder Cut, they kind of used these eyes on Aquaman throughout the whole thing. Here we have Cyborg, and there was a Cyborg that came in that Flying Fox set, which of course I do not have, so the version we're looking at here is comprised of the first two versions of Cyborg ever. So the legs come from the very first version of Cyborg that came in LEGO Dimensions as well as another LEGO DC set, but the torso actually comes from the latest set version of Cyborg, I believe from 2017 or 2018 or so. The head comes from the original Cyborg, I'm pretty sure, as well as the head piece, I think. And then the arms come from that original version of Cyborg, too, with some gray hands popped off. I really had a bunch of these parts just sitting in a bin, so I'm not 100% sure where anything came from specifically, but I'm sure that if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me in the comments. Here we have Alfred, which I think is really interesting because obviously Alfred is one of the older characters in the film, but I think it's neat that he's a little bit of a younger take on Alfred compared to what we're used to seeing. With that being said, the torso and legs come from Ross from the LEGO Friends TV series set, the head comes from Egon from the LEGO Ghostbusters line, and the hair is just some regular old gray flat top hair. I think it's from General Riken from Star Wars, but I think it's come in some other places as well. Here we have Lois Lane. She did have a little screen time in the movie, but nothing too interesting as far as new wardrobes are concerned, so what you're looking at here is just the regular old Lois Lane minifigure from the Man of Steel wave of sets. Here we've got Commissioner Gordon, played by J.K. Simmons. I really like that they gave him the hat in the film. I just think it's a cool look for him. But anyways, to build this, I used a regular old brown fedora, probably most famously from Indiana Jones. The face comes from Alfred from the Lego Batman 1966 Batcave set. And then the torso and legs come from the most recent version of Commissioner Gordon from the Lego DC line of sets. Here we've got Superman right after they revive him and wake him up. I just put some black legs on there. I used this torso from the Lego Batman collectible minifigure series, like one of his beach outfits, and then the hair and head come from Superman from Batman vs. Superman or from Justice League from that dang flying fox set that I don't have. Then for the Superman suit he wears for the rest of the film, which of course is that black suit, it looked so great on screen, didn't it? I just used the torso and legs from General Zod from the Man of Steel line of sets with a black cape and the same head and hair from before from Superman, from Batman vs. Superman, or from that Justice League set. Here we have Mera, and this is just the regular old minifigure from the Aquaman set from his own film in 2018. Not really sure how to make it more accurate than that since it's literally her. I mean, I guess I could change the face out, but honestly, I thought this face looked a lot like Amber Heard. I'm kind of surprised she's still in the DCEU after all the controversy, but we're not here to talk about that. Now we're getting into the really good custom stuff. We've got Green Lantern from the scene he shows up in that flashback scene. To build this, it's actually pretty simple. If you watch that scene before he takes off, he's got kind of a rugged cape, so I gave him a Batman cape, of course. The torso, legs, and Green Lantern accessory are all from the Green Lantern from the Lego DC collectible minifigure series. This little shoulder piece here adds some bulk and is definitely accurate to the film. That comes from Ninjago, and the headpiece here is Bosk from Star Wars. Here we've got Steppenwolf, which I know a lot of people are going to be interested in because, again, in that dang flying fox set, he did come in that, but he was like a really big, honestly kind of ugly buildable figure. So to have him at minifig scale, I think is pretty awesome. To build this, I used the legs and torso, but the torso's flipped around, from Cyberman from Lego Dimensions Doctor Who. Then, of course, I used this shoulder piece, which I'm pretty sure is from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder. Then the head is from Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3. Before I tell you about the headpiece, though, down on the feet, I used a 1x1 little stud on both feet to make him just a little bit taller than an average minifigure. Maybe Batman wasn't a good example because he's got that headpiece, but you'll see he's just a little bit taller. So it's one fun thing you can do that's very simple, but the headpiece definitely requires a little bit more explanation. So that headpiece comes from a character named Scudder from Lego Legends of Chimo, which you can see the similarity there. But on Scudder, there's a whole part in front that would cover the face. So I took a pair of wire cutters like this, and I literally took this piece off and cut all around it so that you could see the figure's face. Of course, it looks a little rough around the edges, and it's not technically purist, I know, but it does work out pretty well when it's all said and done. So here we're looking at a Parademon, and this is an official one from Lego I made no upgrades to. I just don't find them that interesting as bad guys, and I actually sold a lot of mine in a long time ago because I never really thought I would have any need for them, but I kept one, and luckily for this showcase, I do have it now. They're definitely way too bright compared to what we see in the film, but it's still kind of cool little look at Lego history. Here we've got Lex Luthor from the end of the film. Nothing too exciting here, it's just the head from Lex Luthor, which is the same head from Loki, from Batman vs. Superman, and ironically, the torso and legs from Lex Luthor from the 2012 first wave of Lego DC sets. Here we've got Deathstroke, and I didn't make any upgrades here. I know that he could probably be upgraded, but honestly, I felt like the version that they had in the film looked so much like this that it wasn't really worth doing anything crazy to. I would probably change out the torso for something else, but honestly, the rest of this figure is just so awesome. Coming in toward the end here, we have Martian Manhunter, who did show up in this film, which was a really cool surprise. Now, to build this, I used the original Martian Manhunter figure, well, the original one that came in sets. There was a poly bag. I don't have that one, but this came in a set with Supergirl several years back, so it's the head and torso from that. Then I switched out that bright blue cape for a darker blue one and darker blue legs to match that kind of muted tone that a lot of the DCEU characters get. Now, of course, Darkseid got a good bit of love in this movie, way more than the original cut. I mean, I think he was just referenced to in the original, but I don't remember. Anyways, this is the big fig of Darkseid, which, truthfully, I think looks pretty dang awesome. I've always loved this big fig, but I did make a custom Darkseid, and what he looks like is this. You know, obviously this is DCEU Darkseid, this is from the comics, but to build this version here, I used these legs from Powered Up Batman, from Batman vs. Superman, this stone torso from a character named Shadow from Lego Ninjago. I'll tell you in a minute what I did on the wrists here, but to kind of get that helmet look, because so much of his face is exposed, I left the top head open here, and I used this piece from Lego City, which is actually like a firefighter's breathing mechanism, but from the front, it actually looks a lot like Darkseid, I think. The face is from Clone Wars Newt Gunray, which worked really well for the gray skin with the reddish eyes. And then, as mentioned, I did something on the wrists here. I took a pair of Lego handcuffs and cut the chain out of the middle, then put the cuffs back on to make them look like big, thick gauntlets. So I think it worked out really well, honestly. And then last but not least, we have Nightmare Batman, which is exactly the one that LEGO sold us in an accessory pack a few years back with no changes. Now, you're probably thinking, there was a whole Nightmare sequence at the end of the movie. How are you not making those characters? Well, I am going to make them, but I'm actually going to do a separate showcase just based on that Nightmare epilogue, because pretty much every figure there is custom, and I'm going to need a little bit more time to design all those. So I'm going to cut things out here, but let's zoom out, and I'll give you my final thoughts on these figures from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel, because I do stuff like this all the time, and you don't want to miss out on that, do you? I know you don't. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys on the next video, and until next time, build on. If you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, feel free to click that subscribe button for more LEGO videos coming in the near future.